I would like to thank Lisa Cabrera, shout out to Lisa, for sending me this story. And I actually, honestly, I saw this story on Instagram. And at first, I wasn't even going to talk about it, like as a topic of discussion. But you know what? This actually works into the narrative that myself and plenty of others have been talking about how PC cops deal with PC people. But this one is very interesting because it's almost like this cop had to be coached on what to do in a situation, opposed to if it was a black person he was dealing with, he would not have had to been walked through what he was supposed to do when dealing with a person like this. So I'm going to go ahead and I was trying to decide what I was going to do first, whether to read the article first or play the video first. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the video first and then get the article so you can get context behind what I mean.
Man, shoot his ass. Man, shoot his ass. Shoot his ass.
Okay, so you just heard it, like that's the audio right there. I can't clearly show the actual video of it because I know that would get taken down. But basically what you have right here in this picture is this PC man attacking this PC cop with a stick. Like he's actually, if you watch the video, he's actually walking up to him holding this stick and he's swinging it on him, and I think it actually hits him a couple of times. And then you have the person in the car, and you can tell by the tone of this person that this is a black man that's in the car saying, man, shoot his ass, you better shoot his ass, and everything like that. And then the fact of the matter is, if this was one of us, we would have had the bullets the clip probably would have been unloaded into us already before this person even had a chance to swing the stick upwards. This person, first off, look at how close he is. Look how close he is to this guy, to the cop. And it says sheriff on the back of his vest. Look at how close he is to him. And look, he has the stick in his hand, but the sheriff seems to be actually in fear for his life right here, but he doesn't use the "I'm in fear of my life" line like they do with us. And notice he has the gun. I don't know if this is the sheriff or what. He's a deputy sheriff. He has a gun in his hand versus a guy with a stick. The minute that he used that stick as a weapon to reach up, he should have been firing. The fact that he kept backing up to try to actually, I guess, in his own way, to try to stop the person from swinging it or try to get away from him as he was swinging it, lets you know there's a double standard in how they deal with them versus how they deal with us. Now you had the black guy that was in the car telling him to shoot his ass multiple times. They never need a walkthrough of what to do with us when it comes to dealing with us. It seems like they know what to do. But when it comes to them, they need to be they need to be coached. Now this black guy doesn't work for the department. And what you heard with the pops, that was the actual gunshot. So you actually see the deputy sheriff shoot this man on camera, and he ends up. I think the guy ends up dead anyway because those were a lot of shots. But notice he shot him a lot of times. At first, I'm thinking the guy had a vest on because he shot him multiple times before he actually finally fell to the ground. Now the video cuts off. Now I saw the whole video. The rest of the video is you actually see the guy fall to the ground and you actually see him bleed out. So I think he did die, I think. But I'm going to read the article and see if they actually mention it. But the fact of the matter is, look at how they deal with them versus how they deal with us. And then they try to tell us about morals and complying and resisting. Meanwhile, this guy did everything opposite of what they tell us we need to do when dealing with the cops. Well, if you would just comply, well, if you would just not resist, well, if you would do this, well, if you would do that, well, how about you do this? Well, you shut the fuck up and you do and practice what you preach. This is why you do not take moral lessons from people like that. I told you we can give a plethora of examples of them doing the complete opposite of what they tell us we need to do. Here's one right here. This is the most recent one. This was posted February 7th, 2021. I'm recording this on February 8th, 2021. This happened in Maryland. This happened in the state that I live in. And it's crazy because this did not pop up on any news that I've seen. I didn't even know this happened in Maryland until Lisa sent me the article and it said it happened in Maryland. Because when I was tagged on Instagram, it didn't have a state attached to it unless I must have missed it. So they're doing their best to try to bury this. Now, had this been a black person, they would have made sure that this made the headline news. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and now read the article. An incident in Maryland, which a driver attacked a deputy sheriff with a stick before being shot to death, was caught on film by a witness. The man could be heard calling on the deputy to use his gun. The fatal shooting happened. Okay, so he did that. I kind of figured he had to have, because there's no way he could have survived that. Near the town of Laytonsville in Montgomery County. Remember what I told you about Montgomery County? Montgomery County is predominantly PC. On Saturday morning, according to a police account of the events, the man that ended up being killed was driving erratically on the road to Oni, running one car off the road and into a telephone pole and colliding with another vehicle before coming to a stop. So look at all of that stuff this guy did. He caused a car to run off the road and then he got into an accident with another car. And you can tell by the way he was acting in this video that he was probably on something. And the fact that he had to shoot this guy multiple times, I said it looked like he was shooting at a zombie, where you had to fire a few times before they actually fall. He immediately got out of the car with a very large wooden stick of some sort with a very large piece of wood, Sheriff Darren Popkin told the media. He started going after the vehicle that he had just ran into. At about that time, the deputy sheriff arrived at the scene, and the last seconds of his confrontation with the person was filmed by a driver. The disturbing footage shows him coming at the officer with a stick and taking a swing at him, breaking it against his left arm and tossing the remaining piece at him. The deputy sheriff then opened fire at the chest of the assailant, who takes at least 12 shots at point-blank range. The man collapses on the road with blood visible in his clothes and lips. The person filming the incident can be heard saying, about the man is about to get smoked at the beginning, and then repeatedly shouts to the deputy sheriff, "Man, shoot his ass." When the deputy finally does, the person seems genuinely surprised of the outcome, exclaiming, "Damn, oh shit." He apparently gets over the shock and says, "That's what his ass gets. That's the shit I like to see." Now, see, what they're going to now emphasize on is not the fact that this PC man did all of that leading up to this, to attacking that deputy sheriff, to the deputy sheriff finally shooting him. They're going to focus more on the commentary that the driver gave. Because you just heard the rest of the commentary that you didn't hear in the video. Because if you saw the whole video, or they had the whole audio attached, you would hear everything that I just read. You would have heard it come out of his mouth. But they're going to focus now more so on that. But you know why? I know why the black guy, because you could tell the person was black. I know why the black guy gave that commentary. Because if that was a black man, first off, we wouldn't even have to have done all of the things that this guy did in the video. We wouldn't have had to do that much. Not an ounce. But that's what would happen to us immediately. We already know. But see, they give them so many passes, even when their life is actually in danger, when they can actually genuinely use the "I fear for my lifeline" where it would actually apply. They don't use it. But when it's us, when it doesn't need to be used, then that's when they want to use it. So that's why the black guy said what he said in the video. Like, I'm going to leave the link to the actual video in the description so you can watch for yourself. You don't have to take my word on it. You heard the audio, but I would rather you see it. But like I said, I can't show this on YouTube because you already know. The only way I would probably maybe able to get away with it is if I age restrict the video, and even that might be a risk. So I'm not even going to take it. So I will leave the link to the actual video itself in the description, and you can watch it for yourself. The shooting victim was a white male who appears to have been in his late 40s. A longer version of the video that is not available on the account anymore includes several more seconds of the footage in which the person filming says thought his ass was privileged. The police said after the encounter where the deputy sheriff was taken to the hospital, he with a superficial arm injury and back pain, he is expected to be released on Sunday, which has already passed, and will be placed on administrative leave while the incident is being investigated. The shooting victim was pronounced dead at the scene. Neither was immediately identified. Before the shooting, the deputy tried to use his taser to subdue the erratic driver, according to the Montgomery County Police Department, but was not successful for reasons not immediately determined. Like I said, this video right here is showing you clear as day how they deal with them versus how they deal with us. Now they say that he tried to use his taser. Okay, let's just go with that. Let's say he did use his taser. Okay, fine, whatever. If that didn't work, what do you go to next? And he had his gun. You're talking about a projectile weapon versus something that has to stay in your hand. And that was a big piece of wood. Like, you can look at it and tell by this picture that it was no twig off of a tree. It wasn't a branch. I don't know what that was. But he said he hit him hard enough with that wood that it actually broke. And you can actually see it break in the video. But he had the gun. The minute that he lifted that wood up, he should have shot him right there on sight. But he didn't. Now, I wonder how many black people has this deputy sheriff had encounters with, and how did he deal with them versus how he dealt with this guy here. Like they said, this guy ran someone off of the road into a telephone pole, got into a collision with another vehicle, and then tried to attack the person he just got into another collision with. I almost don't like, and they say they call him a victim. I don't even want to call him that. Clearly the guy was off his rocker, off his meds, one of the two. Or maybe he was on too many of his meds. I don't know. But like I said, how they deal with us and how they deal with them is two different things. And they like to say, oh, it goes back to training and this, that, and the third. No. Oh, it's training, all right. They're trained to deal with them one way, and they're trained to deal with us a whole nother way. And it shows. And this does not just happen. And see, this is the thing. That line of training would work if it was just one department. But the fact of the matter is, it's a vast majority of the departments do the same thing. So it's not training, because not every department has the same line of training as the other. They all train differently. There might be some similarities, but they all train differently. But if they all keep doing the same thing, it's not the training. It's the people. It's the culture within those departments. That's what it is at the end of the day. So I wish they would stop trying to insult our intelligence with this lie and say that it's about training. It's not about training. It's something completely different, but training, that ain't it. So they need to stop using that as a scapegoat. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please text the number that is pinned down in the comments below so you can receive notifications every time I upload a new video.